So I found this, and she wrapped this stuff good. All right, I think I got it.
Now I want to show you my favorite project with how it turned out.
Hey there, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm so excited because I'm actually going thrifting for a thrift flip challenge collab with Rachel G Thrifts. Her channel is amazing. She does a lot of thrifting like I do for home decor, and I love her energy. So definitely go follow her on both of her channels and check it out. But today I'm going thrifting to see if I can find some challenging pieces for her to flip, and she'll actually be sending me some pieces too, and then it's going to be a challenge to see what we can do with each other's pieces. So let's go see what we can find for Rachel. Time to pack our box of goodies for Rachel. I hope she still wants to be my friend after this. So, the first thing I found was this faux book. So it's actually a box, and it's really nice on the inside, and it actually has like the little ridges on the side. So I figured she could do something really cool with this to style this. Hopefully she won't hate me too much for this one. I think this one's a pretty good find to send to her. Then I'm gonna send her this easy one. It's just a little wooden tray. She could do a million things with this, and so I'm excited to see what direction she takes. But yeah, super simple, just little wood tray. All right, this one is a little bit more on the creative side. So these are, I think they're hot plates, but they're wood and cork. And I think she might be able to do something really interesting with these. I don't know what. I thought that they would be like a really fun, challenging find for her, but without her actually hating me. Okay, this is the one that I'm worried about our friendship after this. But I wanted to send at least one semi-challenging one just to see. So I found this, and I figure, even though I know it'll take some work, that she could turn this into a really great wreath, or she may go a completely different route than I would. But yeah, I'm excited to see what she does with this. And Rachel, if you're watching, I promise I'm sorry. And then the last thing that I'm gonna send is this bundle of fabric that I actually got at an estate sale, and I've had in my thrift room for a long time. And it's really nice fabric, and it's just got like a really subtle pattern on it. It's the tans and the whites. It's super neutral, and it's a good amount of it. And I picked it up just because it was such a good deal at the estate sale, and it was so nice and pretty. And I've had it for a long time and just haven't done anything with it. And so I'm gonna send it Rachel's way and see what she could do with it. In the mail. So it is time to see what Rachel has sent me. I'm a little anxious, nervous. I have no idea. Yeah, just a little. Okay, let's see. She wrapped this stuff good. Oh, wow. Look at that. Oh, that is such a pretty shape. Oh my goodness. I definitely think I can do something with this. It's almost pretty as is, but obviously purple is not something that I decorate with, but that is gorgeous. Thank you, Rachel. Oh, I'm starting to feel a little guilty for what I sent her. Okay. Okay. Ooh. Very cool. So it actually has got hardware to hang on a wall, but it's like a drawer. Oh, that's super cool. How funny. Okay. Very interesting. Not sure what I'm going to do with that yet. Oh, wow. Then just like a really pretty cutting board. Oh my goodness. Okay, I feel a little guilty for what I sent to her. I feel like I sent her some really challenging items. I do know that she can do amazing things with them, but this is cool. I'm not entirely sure what I will do with the stroller. Is going to be a challenge. I'm very much got my wheels turning right now. And yeah. Well, this is going to be fun. I'm excited to see what I can do with this stuff. And I'm really excited to see what Rachel does with what I sent to her. So yeah, I'm going to think on this for a few days. See what I can come up with to flip this stuff creatively. Especially this drawer. This drawer is a little... the more I look at it, the more I'm like, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with this, but it's very cool and I'm very excited to see what I can do with this. So I've had a little bit of time to kind of sit with these different items that Rachel sent me and figure out exactly what I want to do with each of them. I'm going to start with this jug. So I'm going to put aside the drawer and the cutting board for now. And I'm going to start with this really beautiful jug. Love the handle on it. And it's just begging to be made into one of those vintage textured vases. I've done this technique a few times before. This is actually one behind me. But I've used a different method. So I've done paint and baking soda and then added extra baking soda on top to give it that really textured, powdery kind of look. I want to use a different method this time because why not? So I'm going to try using all-purpose joint compound to basically sculpt it to make it look like it was a sculpted ceramic piece instead of a glass piece. And then instead of paint, I may use a little paint, but instead of using paint to get the coloring, I want to use dirt and water. I've seen it done really well. So depending on what color this dries, if I feel like it's a good enough base or if I feel like I need to add a little bit of paint for warmth, I'll do that. But I basically want to make it look really, really authentic vintage found vase. So to get started, I'm going to use this joint compound and basically just sculpt it with my hands all over this vase to give it that texture. So now that I've applied the compound all over, it's okay that it looks kind of streaky right now. It's okay that it's not completely covered. This is a base texture coat, and because it's joint compound, you should be able to sand it down. So some of these like sharp points that kind of look, I don't know, they don't look super found or natural. We'll be able to sand those down and smooth it all out. So I was really just trying to get it on there because I knew I'd be able to sand it out later. So, okay, it has been quite a few
days since I applied that plaster to this vase, but it was completely dried through at about 24 hours. I just didn't get back around to working on it. So if you do this, just know that it takes about 24 hours for it to dry through completely, like bone dry. Also, if you hear a rooster, that's because we have 5 of them. So I'm sorry, or you're welcome, however you see it. We're just gonna knock back some of this texture. So I wanna keep texture, but I don't want it to look like I brushed it on there with my fingers. I want it to look more natural. So we're gonna knock back some of these like points and ridges and just make it look more like a natural ceramic kind of look. Inside, and you can see that the texture is much less now, but there's still texture there. However, there were some places where the plaster was pretty thin and I didn't quite cover it all the way, and that pink purple glass is still showing through. So I'm going to do just a quick, really thin base coat, and it may not even be full coverage. I may kind of just slap it on there of it's called Sculptor Clay. And this is just an old sample that I had from another project. And so I'm just going to give it a little bit of a base coat in a super neutral color. So that way I have a base for when we apply the dirt water mixture. Okay, our vase is fully dry, and it actually looks pretty cute right now as is because we did like a textured painted look to it, but I want to take it a step further and make it look aged. So we're going to try the mud technique where we take dirt, mix it with water, and paint it on the surface to give it extra texture and to give it also that like it's been sitting somewhere waiting to be found. So let's go get some mud. So I just have like a little plastic cup, and I'm gonna take you somewhere that I have not shown. It's scary. So this is my plant graveyard, and yeah, I'm gonna just take some dirt from some of these plants and put it in my cup here. I think that'll be good. Again, we have roosters. I think that'll be good. I'm gonna mix it with water. I want it to be a really heavy mix of mud to where it's almost like a paint. I want it to be thick. I don't want it to be like dirty water. I want it to be mud. So let's go see if this works. Okay, I got my mud mixed here, and I'm just using the same paintbrush I used earlier, and I'm just gonna mix it up and see what happens when we paint it onto our vessel here. Okay, I wasn't totally happy with the way that it was brushing on. I don't know if it's because I'm using like potting soil, because that's what I had. But I found like when I started rubbing it into the paint, I really started to like it better. My only concern is I'm afraid that the water in it is going to rub the plaster off. And I feel like I need to mix a little bit more paint into it. But if I gently start rubbing at it, I like the coloration that the dirt kind of gives the jar, but I just have to be really gentle because I think I already rubbed some of the plaster off in one place. I think I'm going to dry this off so that way I don't have any more of that issue. We'll probably do a final coat of paint over top to cement it all into place, but the dirt color is working the way I kind of envisioned it. So I think I'm going to let it be before I mess it up further. And I'm also going to get it out of this water. The vase is now dry. It's not dripping everywhere. And I'm pretty happy with the texture. I'm pretty happy with what the dirt added to it. And I don't see a lot of spots where the plaster actually came off, which is good. But I do feel like it's missing just like a little bit more depth. So I went and hunted down a third darker paint color in my stash. And I'm just gonna mix it with a little bit of water to kind of water down the color a little bit and sponge it on in just spots just to see if it'll add like that final touch of depth. And hopefully we'll be able to call this aged vase thrift flip done. Okay, so the next project I want to work on is this cutting board that Rachel sent me. I love the top shape of it, how it has this really cool detail at the handle, and I also love the graining that is going through the board. My goal for this board was to do something unexpected with it. So it'd be really easy to flip this board and make it into a really great, beautiful, decorative serving board. However, I wanted to see if I could challenge myself to turn it into something different. So I'm going to try to make a cookbook holder out of it. I've been wanting a wooden cookbook holder for so long now, and I was like, why don't I make my own? So I'm going to attempt to do that with this board. We have gotten a good sanded surface to work with. We're going to stain until about here. So I just want to give it a good stained coat about 3/4 of the way down. I've got some cheesecloth and I've got my Minwax Special Walnut. It's my favorite wood stain just because it's really rich. So yeah, we're just going to do that on all 4 sides and let it dry, and then we'll come back later and add our paint on top with a nice crisp line. So we don't need to tape anything off because we'll come back over it with paint later. So I do want to add a note here while I'm finishing up rubbing this stain in, is that if you are planning on using your cutting board for food, you need to make sure your finish is food safe. Because I'm turning this into a book holder, I don't have to worry about it being food safe, and so it's fine for me to use this stain. But if you're planning on using it for food, you need to take a look and make sure that it's food safe first. So our stain has dried. I love it. I have not decided which side I want to be the front of our cookbook stand yet. So I just went ahead and taped all the way around. And so from the bottom of this tape down is where our black drip detail is going to be. So I'm going to paint all the sides except one, and then once it dries, I'll flip it over and finish it off. And then we should be at the place where we can start installing the shelf and also the kickstand on the back. So let's go ahead and get this painted so it can dry. Okay, our cutting board is dry, and while I was painting it, I also painted this just little wooden wedge. That is a 45-degree angle that Josh cut for me out of just some scrap wood, and this is going to be our little kickstand. So I just painted it at the same time, and I'm going to hot glue that to the back. But first, we need to peel this tape off of here. That is literally so satisfying. It looks so much better than I even thought it would. Oh, I'm so excited. Now we just have to pick which side. I kind of liked the streaky side at first, but now I'm kind of leaning more toward this, like, just warm and soft kind of walnut here. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I think this is going to be my front. Then we need to attach our shelf. And originally I was going to cut some more blocks to make a shelf, and I wasn't sure how it was going to go. It was probably going to be pretty bulky, but luckily, as I was planning this project, while thrifting, I found this plate rack at the thrift store for $2. And it already came with the hardware and everything. And instead of using it as a plate rack, my plan is to mount it to the back of this cutting board like this, and then screw it into place where it stays flush to the back here. And then the book can sit right here and it makes its own shelf, but it looks super polished and super finished. And since it's all black, I feel like it just works really well. The wedge fits perfectly right here. Do you see? Basically, this is the situation here. Just like that. Right? So super simple. But first, I'm going to attempt to pre-drill a hole to take out some of the wood so that way it doesn't split when I try to screw this in there. So, yeah, wish me luck on that one. When pre-drilling a hole, and I am not the expert on this, but I do know you want it to be smaller than your screw size, because the idea is just to remove some of the materials so that way the wood doesn't just split from the pressure of adding in this material. But if you drill it too big, then the threads have nothing to screw into. So I'm just going to do my best here on picking the correct size of drill bit. And like I said, I'm making this up as I go along. All right, I think I got it. And also, I don't want to go all the way through this board. I really just want to go a little bit of the way, so that way I just have the room. So this is a little scary, and we're just going to do our best here. So, again, wish me luck. All right, we're going to try that. Believe that actually worked and went that well. I was actually really nervous for that part. If anything went wrong, like I wouldn't have been able to fix it, but it looks so good. And this line here where the top of that bolt is perfect. And I did kind of plan that where I lined this up earlier, and that's where I taped it, but I'm glad that it worked out that way. The last step is to glue our little wedge on. Okay, I was so happy with this cookbook holder and so proud of myself. And then I went to go try to style it and watch what happens. It looks super cute, right? Oh, I'm so sad. It gets too heavy on the front end. It's standing too upright for this little thing to have any kind of weight. So I don't know how to fix this. I think the only thing that I can try to do is to sand this down to where it leans back a little further, and hopefully that transfer of weight will help the book kind of lay flat versus pulling it forward. So I'm going to try that. I'm going to try to just sand down this bottom part a little bit and see if that helps. Okay, moment of truth. Yes! Oh, I love it.
I am so excited now. This is the one that stumped me. It seems like it should be simple because it's just a really cool wooden drawer, but for whatever reason it stumped me because it's like there's enough here to do something unique with, but at the same time it's already so clear what it is. It's a wall hung wooden shelf. So I was like, what am I gonna do with this? And my first thoughts were side table. We have side tables, so we don't need that. And my second thought was it'd be great for like a small bathroom. We've got plenty of those. But I tried it and I didn't love the way it looked. It kind of just was like out of scale. So I was like, what am I gonna do with this box? And I finally landed on making a phone charging station. So I'm gonna attempt to drill a hole through the back and create a space to plug in my phone charger. And then that way my phone can tuck inside and it can be in this stylish little box ready to go, and I can style on top of it and put this on my dresser. So that's the idea. Let's see if we can make it happen. Okay, so I actually want to try to stain this box. I know I didn't take the finish off of it. I tested a little bit on the bottom and I just felt like the quality of the wood, it wasn't going to do real well, and worst case scenario, I'll paint it black. So I was like, well, let me just test and see what happens with the walnut stain on top of this like whitewash. It's worth a try because if I hate it, I'll just paint it black. So you can see where I sanded down here, how it's taking it a little darker. It still is not great, and the rest of it kind of just looks dirty, and I don't even think it's taking it. I think it's sitting right on top of it. So we're gonna wind up painting it black. Hey.
Hi.
Hello. Your shelves are so pretty.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
I know my husband doesn't even go on his video chat anymore, so I feel like I did it for nothing, but I did it for myself. So
Yeah, exactly.
Because I literally had no creative juices flowing when I was like first looking at these things.
Oh my gosh. Well, you did so good though, like so good.
Yes, I won folks approval.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, like you did amazing. Like I'm like, oh, let me show you what I did.
I'm so excited. I do want to see what you did, so I'm excited.
All right, so I'll start with the easy one. So you sent me that really pretty purple jug. So I used like, the dirt and paint technique and painted it to like hold the dirt pattern. But I actually rubbed like actual dirt in it because I haven't tried that before, and like I love how it turned out.
Oh my gosh.
So
That is a dream. Oh man, you did an awesome job with it. It looks beautiful.
the wall hanging drawer stumped me a little bit. Finally, I painted it and I drilled a hole in the back of it. And so I'm using it for like a charger box. I got it upside down. So I'm putting my phone in it and I can charge my phone and like put it away. And then like
oh my goodness.
dresser
but the wire's in the back, so like it's completely hidden. And so I just did it really basic and painted it black.
No, Brooke, that's not basic. That's amazing. Oh my gosh.
So I decided not to hang
I
it.
haven't done anything with, but I was just like, oh my gosh, now I want to do that too.
Now I want to show you my favorite project with how it turned out. So
Ooh, I'm so excited. Okay.
all right, so the cutting board. I was like, what am I going to do to this cutting board to make it like thrift worthy? And I went thrifting and found this plate dish. So I made it's a cookbook holder. So that one's my favorite because it kind of like felt like the most fun.
Oh my gosh, I am not worthy of you, Brooke. I am not
No,
worthy.
that is
Oh my
not
goodness.
even true at all.
Oh
Yours like flew right out of the water.
Oh my gosh, this is so fun now. Oh my goodness.
I know.
Definitely have to do this again.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, editing Brooke here from my parents' back porch. I just wanted to say thank you for watching the video. I hope that you enjoyed it, and you have got to go check out Rachel's channel and see what she did with the items that I sent her. I was blown away, so impressed, and you're gonna love them. So definitely go check out her channel. I'll leave the link for you in the description. And if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe so that way you don't miss out on future videos from me, and I will see you next time. Bye.
But this time I'm like gonna talk to you before I actually plan these out because I need your ideas. Girl.
Oh my gosh. I feel like I need you. I'm over here with like a box and then like a painted base, and you've got like brand new items.